Welcome to Amiens. I'm hoping I've got the correct pronunciation. Join me as I visit the Christmas market at Amiens. And if you like this kind of video, with a bit of flower arranging, crafting and charity shop shopping too, why don't you consider subscribing to my channel? All you need to do is hit the red subscribe button, and that means next time you open your YouTube app on your phone, your laptop or your computer, one of my videos will be waiting for you. We took the Dover-Calais ferry and then drove about half an hour for a quick lunch break at the seaside town of Wimereux, which was decorated for the festive period. I can never resist a florist shop, and we spotted this one on the other side of the high street. It was selling Christmas trees that were bound up, pine wreath rings all ready to decorate, and then these forced hyacinth bulbs all ready for a bit of spring colour over the cold winter months. The town had gone to a great effort to decorate the streets using Christmas trees, although I was rather bemused by the state of the decorations. I always thought everything in France was really chic, and I didn't really like the trees tied with the florist's poly ribbon bows. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. We walked down the high street checking out the window shop displays and how the shop fronts have been decorated too. Some lovely wooden decorations there. And then we spotted this antique shop. So as I was with friends and feeling brave, we all went in and had a little look around. With lovely old chairs at the front, and can you see just off to the side there is an area with some flower vases. It was interesting to look at, but they weren't really my style. A bit too 1970s. If you're a Christmas market fan, you'll have to let me know in the comments. And have you got any specific recommendations of towns and cities that I ought to visit, either at home in England or perhaps further afield abroad? We waited outside this shop for the lunch break to finish. It had a beautiful display with some mechanical moving parts. As we were spending the weekend in northern France, we didn't hurry down to Amiens, and we stayed overnight with friends in their farmhouse cottage. And what a beautiful scene the following morning. It had snowed through the night, so we decided that we'd take a walk and explore the local village. Are you a fan of Escape to the Chateau with the Strawbridges? It certainly brought back all the feels of watching their TV show. It's just amazing when you can just travel probably not even 100 miles from home and end up in a different country with a different culture and landscape. The village we were staying in was a collection of isolated houses and farmsteads. There wasn't much life in terms of a village shop, the boulangerie, the charcuterie, so I didn't get to practice my French. Our host actually runs tours of the World War I war graves, and he helped my husband a few months ago find the grave of his maternal grandfather. So it was so interesting as we were travelling out and about to get snippets of history from those bygone years. Bundled up against the cold, and as that light dusting of snow was thawing, we walked off into the countryside, staying to the little farm tracks, and did a loop out of the village and then back in the other end. This area of France is actually the Somme, and I'm told it looks absolutely fabulous when the poppies come into flower in the late spring and early summer. But what we did see were trees absolutely laden with mistletoe, so festive at this time of the year. So as the camera takes you on our walk back into the village, see whether you can spot the balls of mistletoe high up in the trees. After lunch, we headed off into Amiens. It was about a 30-minute drive from where we were staying, and we managed to park up in a car park on the banks of the River Somme and then headed across the town square to take a look at the Amiens Cathedral. Beautiful building, as all these cathedrals are, and this one was of particular note because during the war the local townspeople took out the stained glass windows and stored them to keep them safe, but that place was bombed, so most of the windows in the church are plain glass, although there is some stained glass right at one end. For me, this is stacking up to be the perfect weekend away. A little bit of snow, a florist shop, and I do enjoy looking around a church. How about you? What are your favourite ingredients for a weekend away? Let me know in the comments. I was particularly taken by these church candles. The ones at home are either night lights or the really small 10cm skinny candles. These are much more significant. And did you spot the pink lilies? And I thought that was quite unusual to have flowers in church during the Advent period. So after the peace and solitude of Amiens Cathedral, let's head on into the town itself and explore the Christmas market. The advertising materials say there's 2 kilometres of Christmas stalls. And check out this window of Father Christmases. They are all made of chocolate. As it turns out, the streets were really crowded and I could barely get to the stalls, so I decided to take myself off to the local department store to check out their Christmas shop. I love seeing the table settings and was particularly taken by these individual plates, but I didn't buy any to take home. I did, however, buy myself a Christmas bauble, and isn't that the law that you have to buy yourself a new bauble each year? I'm not sure I'm seeing anything particularly different about these Christmas decorations, and I'm sure the big stores in London would have very similar decorations to this. Can you guess which bauble I bought? It was the Elf one, because we're going to see Elf the musical in the West End just before Christmas. We timed our visit to Amiens to enjoy it as the sun was going down and the evening was starting to draw in. So we probably arrived at about 3:30 at the cathedral, and then at the Christmas market itself from 4 o'clock it was starting to get dark. I was particularly interested in this display in front of the town hall, the Marché de Noël, and it ran from the 25th of November up until the 30th of December, and I'm sure those dates must be pretty consistent if you're planning to visit another year. Aren't these igloo such fun? So little Christmas scenes inside each one, and they aren't going to get damaged by the rain. The place here was full of children this time of the evening, but as it got darker and darker, the children presumably went to bed, and the place was alive with adults enjoying a glass of mulled wine or hot chocolate. There were a pair of deer flanking the steps either side of the door up to the cathedral. So this was one deer on one side. I couldn't get a shot, though, of the other one because there were lots of children having their photograph taken in front of it. So having checked out the little village area in front of the town hall, I then went back down the high street to start walking down the 2 kilometres of Christmas market stalls. This one here is full of nativities, and then the more familiar German pyramid decorations where the candlelight moves the top propellers around, and then more decorations at the front of the shops, and this one here is a shop selling macarons. As well as the huge nativity scene in the cathedral, I spotted this one too outside in the street, set in a little hut behind glass. And as the evening light faded, the fairy lights on the Christmas market stalls came into their own. And then right at the end of the street, there was a little fun fair area, and I was quite mesmerised by the old-fashioned carousel.
Silent night, all is calm, all is bright, round young virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace.
And after a day on our feet walking around, it was nice to have a glass of vin chaud. Actually, I didn't. I had a warm cup of hot chocolate just next to the town hall, chatting with friends and catching up on our favourite parts of the market. And then we had one last chance to look at the area in front of the town hall. And now, because it's night time, the illuminations came into their own. And I was really pleased that we stayed the extra time in order to enjoy the decorations in the evening. And as we retraced our steps back to the car, passing the cathedral, we wondered why it wasn't illuminated from the outside. And the reason was there was a light show inside, so it was an added bonus to our visit. And the following morning, it had snowed overnight again. And doesn't this just look beautiful? A lovely white covering, but fortunately it started to thaw, so it didn't disrupt our journey home. And if you enjoy this kind of video, some flower arranging, days out, crafting and a little bit of charity shop shopping, why don't you consider joining my channel? As well as getting early access to my Monday uploads, you also get access to my free monthly flower arranging club. Well, that's all from me for now, and I'll see you again in the new year.